Alright everybody, game on! Team Pineapple, Team Boluo, the Swedes are playing against the One today. And well, Boluo, they have by now won 2 maps, not more than that, and they are still 8th place in the standing. Now a victory over the One would go a long way here today, but as you can imagine, the recent few weeks and matches haven't really been kind to the Swedes, so expectations are at this point a little bit tempered and low. Big question is, what happened on their end? Why does the team not really work? Is it a problem playing with the Chinese in there? Is it just them not taking it too serious? Are the Chinese players just simply better here? But today Boluo goes up against a mix. China and Korea united in the One, and it is going to be a tough challenge for Boluo. The bans on Zeratul and Ana, we're having also Jaina and Maiev banned out. We've seen this pattern before, pretty popular currently in the Chinese meta. And obviously our first map, as mentioned before, is a Dragonshire, and there is therefore our quick pick into Rexa. Pretty sure that Boluo wanted that for themselves, but then again, Wooby has been playing a lot with Urel, as they had Wooby on the off lane again, outside of the main tank role. And this is actually a pretty good pick too. If you're going Genji at the start, it more or less guarantees you that you can put the top lane pressure onto Rexa quite a bit by rotating Genji into the lane every now and then and making it a quick 2 versus 1. Having Johanna as an early commitment here as well is already indicating that we're going to see quite a bit of a focus onto the wave clear here from them in the rotations too. I don't know if they changed roles again, but they made the change with Shrimpy into the main tank position so that Wooby was a bit more free on the off lane, and swapped a couple of the damage positions around too, with 365, one of the Chinese players in their team, now playing the support. For the time being, we're going to assume that that's still the case here, but now we have Sylvanas picked, and we're also seeing Tyrande with this for the One as the setup, as we're heading into the first map. And I want to stress again that this is actually a best of 2. This is not a best of 3, meaning the teams play 2 maps no matter what, and those map wins, they count towards your points within the group stage that we're currently looking at. And it's the longest and the final group stage that we have in the tournament. There's 8 teams left. It's a double round robin system, so every single team plays 14 matches, and that means that at the end of it, the top 4, they will advance into a step-ladder system bracket, a gauntlet, so the position really matters that you end up in. The Swedes had a lot of trouble. They only won 2 maps, and those maps were also against lesser teams that they should have pretty much beaten quite easily, and that didn't happen. Some of the matches looked really good for them, but they lost then towards the end in the important team fights. So right now they need a lot more if they want to make it out of that bottom spot in the standings. Rhaegar comes in, and we have Hanzo. With Rhaegar in particular, we obviously now have the chance for them to get a lot of the wave clear put to some use here and grab those camps. Junkrat and Garrosh, both of them making it into the draft for the One, and Boluo now with their last pick, and we still need the hero for the offlane, likely for Wooby. As we said before, it could be Urel, one of Wooby's favorite, but it's a Muro instead as Boluo goes up against the One. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Dragonshire, our map, and we have the Whoopster on Samuro in this first game of this series. It's time to get hyped here for our first map. Once again, as we're heading into this, the quick disclaimer that I'm actually not present in the lobby, meaning I'm not in the game myself. I cannot observe the game, I cannot control the camera, I can't control the observer interface, so I can't show you the stacks on talents or the stats of the players. And also, as you might have already heard in previous matches of Gold League, as we're relying on a stream here on the source material, it is on a lower FPS than I usually use for my own stream. So if you are experiencing some lower FPS and a little bit of issues with that, there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But then again, we get as a trade-off the live action from China, and therefore a glimpse into the other regions meta as well, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to take that trade. Already we're seeing Poik here jumping around. He's playing Hanzo this time, and as we said before, Boluo in trouble in the standings. They're currently on the 8th spot, so definitely not in a good position. The One on position 4 at this point, so they are one of the teams that, if the group stage would end now, would actually make it into the gauntlet, into the step-ladder system bracket to determine the champion of the tournament. But there's still a chance for Boluo to come back. Granted, the chances for Boluo are getting slimmer and slimmer to make it into the top 4. They would have to massively step it up and really take 2-0 victories against some of the top 4 contenders as well in order to change their standing. But it's not impossible. It's not a mathematical impossibility for them to make it into the top 4. But of course, with the recent results coming in from the Swedes, hopes are currently dwindling. So let's see if they can maybe start a comeback here with at least one map win against the one. In an ideal world, of course, a bit more than that, but we'll find out. With that now said, we're currently the one with setups as expected. The Unfurling Shadows on Sylvanas on level 1, the Bird of Prey here for bad boy Rexar, the man with a mask, and Whoopi still going up against him with Samuro here at the top lane. Samuro's setup is definitely an interesting one. First of all, it is a little bit of a calling card from Shrimpi, or it was in the past at least. But Samuro can be incredibly annoying and a massive nuisance. What's also a nuisance is an early Dragonite, and Magi is already trying to get exactly that. And he gets it! The early game Dragonite claimed by Magi, and there's the kill against Shrimpi. And so now we have the objective claimed by the one, and they can put it to some good use. This is obviously also the overhauled Dragonshire, so a little bit of a graphics update, as you guys might have already experienced yourself. Another kill comes in as Junkrat drops Poik, and Hanzo is now dead as well. That's a pretty crazy setup there. I mean, again, at this point, the question always arises, what exactly is happening with Boluo? What's the reason why things don't flow for them? And, well, first of all, it's not really a full team that made it into the league, so it was a bit of a patchwork from the start. But obviously, they also... I feel it was a bit of a mixed approach for them heading into this tournament. It was, first of all, of course, also a bit of a vacation that they could spend time in Asia together and experience and actually live there for a while, compared to just simply attending a tournament that runs 2 or 3 days. So I'm not 100% certain how much training time really comes into that. Obviously their own expectations were a lot higher than what they delivered so far, but I'm not sure if there is at some point a focus where they're saying, okay, we are a little bit too far out right now, let's try to do our best, but at the same time maybe not invest every single minute of our day into practice, and instead also enjoy the time here a little bit more and have a bit of a glimpse into the culture and go exploring. So again, at that point, from that perspective, I don't really know. Just a couple of things that have been discussed in the past here. But so far, the first game in this one doesn't really go well for them. Another throw against Shrimpi, and he is going to fall. He's actually trying to pressure Magi a bit as well. Shrimpi obviously knew after we saw the Garrosh flip that he was dead, so he's just trying to buy themselves a little bit of time there. But it is definitely tricky. So yeah, with that, we're now having 365 at the bot lane, still doing his thing up at the top. Hugo and his boys are pushing through, and Sylvanas can definitely start to disable the structure here, which is also obviously empowering this entire push that they have around the camp. And yep, that is going to net them maybe the entire wall even. One turret down, second one likely to fall, and if they can drop the wall, then they might be able to also get the fountain, and they get another kill too. The one just more coordinated at this point, taking Boluo down one hero at a time. 4 kills against 0, an entire level lead, and they're not going to stop at the wall here. No, they're already making their way back into the backline here. They're trying to flip Shrimpy over. At least a bit of control against Hehe on Garrosh, but this could be the first fort in the game. Whoopi has started to rotate to the bottom of the map to put Samuro to some use and take down those siege giants, but the top fort has fallen and things are just not looking good at all. It is tricky. Having Gia also in trouble, and Frankel wants to get the kill here with his Junkrat performance. But now that we're also seeing the objective already on the map again, we have Rexar taking over the top control. And at the bottom of the map, I expect a push at the latest on level 10 when they have their heroic ability, and trying to make a play through that. Boluo then again, I mean, currently we're still of course looking for a little bit of hope in this series, but to be honest with you, it's slowly disappearing here. Camps are taken once more by the one, and with a level 10 ability, kind of expect them to go for another DK now. Whoopi is already moving to the top and will have to deal with Misha, but he alone won't be able to do anything here. This is actually why we see now on the minimap Another 2 heroes jumping towards the top side, trying to help out, because they're fully aware that they need to somehow stall and make sure they get level 10 so that they can fight for the Dragon Knight as well. They're half a level away, and the top lane control allows them to, at least for the time being, deny the Dragon Knight to the 1. Having also, obviously, the attempt to see if they can maybe even drop good over here on Rexa, but I don't think that he's going to expose himself at any point that much. Once again, Hehe with a quick combo there. Level 10 abilities are going to be ready for Boluo. Their hope lies in Samuro and him later on in the game just cancering around the opponent and trying to just use that macro aspect that the hero offers to get more value. But with all of those coordinated mercenary push that we're seeing from the 1, the map is only getting opened up in one direction, and that's towards the right. Another fort likely to fall, and that would be the second outer structure that gets destroyed. And if you just take a look at the minimap into the mid lane, that fort has pretty much no hit points left either. So the 1 is absolutely destroying the outer ring of defense of Boluo, giving them no chance whatsoever. 7 minutes in, we have basically every single fort eliminated. I think a little bit of Junkrat poke in the mid lane would do the trick there too. And that's pretty much what they're going to try and do here. I mean, look at this. Junkrat has to drop 2 grenades on that thing and it's down. So with that, we have now an entire level lead still. And well, now that Wooby is up at the top lane again, I guess we are seeing eventually Rexa taking over the control of that once more. But yeah, it's a rough game. I had higher hopes at the beginning, but right now, whew, it's a little bit brutal. Hugo is obviously also trying to stack at this point. We're having, in terms of heroic abilities, no big surprises. The only one is Hanzo, actually. If you look at Hanzo, he actually went for the Lul strike. So he's going to meme it up a little bit, it seems. Let's see if they will get any kind of value out of that. But outside of this, it is going to be tricky. I mean, I honestly don't know exactly how they want to get value out of the talent, because I don't see any kind of situation in which you would really be able to lock those heroes down long enough to really get something done with that. Especially since we don't have a lot of stuns on their end outside of them playing with a Blessed Shield on Johanna. You really have to play around Shrimpy a lot if they want to get value here with it, I feel. But then again, let's have a look. Maybe they find an opportunity to use it in one of those close quarter fights. That would be the dream for them. Camps are taken again. And this is actually a thing from the 1. If you think about how they played the map so far, they're taking their camps just over and over again. It's a really nice pattern and a good rhythm that they have for mercenary control, which helps them with the experience leak that they currently have over their opponent, and obviously with the map pressure that they create as well. So now Rexa taking over the top lane again. Will be using the global power a bit. The poke from Frankel down here. He's not exposing himself at all. I like how safe the 1 is playing this right now. It's tricky for Boluo to get any kind of pressure done, because everybody is just well aware when heroes are missing on the map. They're not moving out too far. They're just sitting at the tower saying, like, guys, take it easy. We're far ahead right now. Don't give them an opening back into the game. Sylvana's not going for the poke here either. Once again, the throw and the kill. Nicely done. Quick taunt from Hehe on Garrosh. And that's the end of Hanzo. No more bows for this guy. And that's a Dragon Knight right there. Magi doesn't even have to take it. Can wait for Hehe to rotate in. They know that there's no chance for Boluo to fight back at this case. And the Dragon Knight is taken once more. So at this point, they're starting to go for it again. 2-level lead already. Dragon Knight ready to pound and kick. Goes straight for the punt. Doesn't hit this one. Breathfire comes out. But as you can see at the bot lane, what do we have? Again, Siege Giants coming in, Dragon Knight coming in, and the Sylvanas to boot. This is looking pretty good for the blue team. They're going to break through this easy peasy. And you take one look at experience and you realize quickly that they're going to have level 16 for this push too. So it's a triple advantage with catapults even pushing in right now. There's the Lul strike, memeing it up, and that keep is still going to fall. And we are only 10 minutes into the game. 10 minutes into the game, Boluo doesn't have a single fort left, and they don't have a key, don't have the bottom keep either. And the 1 is actually looking to end. No way, 10-minute Dragon Knight doesn't scale that well into the late game. I would be surprised if they can pull it off unless they get a few kills here. Shrimpy massively attacked. The Ancestral actually hits him, but the Riptire still takes him down. Genji also low, gets attacked, and Frankel connects the last dot, and that is actually likely going to be game. Boluo gets speedrun here by the One, who absolutely crushed this. They play the perfect game, 7 kills against 0, and that's the 1-0 lead for the One in the best of 2 against Boluo as the Swedes crash and burn on Dragonshire. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, the One against Boluo, and I gotta say, the One has kind of been speedrunning the last one. Boluo didn't have a chance there, and it became just pretty obvious. So someone has actually dropped in the chat that Shrimpy said on his stream, again I can't vouch for that, but apparently Shrimpy said on the stream that they're currently not scrimming. That would further the theory a little bit that they're currently treating this more like a good time in Asia than try-harding in the league there itself. Again, I don't know if that's actually true. I didn't hear the statement myself, but that's at least what chat said after game number 1, so I'll believe that for now. It definitely looked like it at least. The One much superior there. They had better coordination, they had better coordination. They communicated very well, they controlled the map, they controlled the mercenaries, they pushed with them really nicely, had the objective coming in twice, and you could really see that they didn't want to waste any time there either. I mean, they really just cut off their legs the first chance they got. 10-minute game pretty much. It was like, make it 12 minutes. But yeah, they won absolutely mercilessly. So in terms of bans, with Samuro and Abatha both banned out, our second map is, at this point, Towers of Doom. We're having Maiev and Zeratul both banned by Boluo, and they actually chose the map. So they didn't go for first pick, first ban, they made the map choice. We're having Towers in, and Jaina gets first pick by the One again. There's the Tyrande pick on the Boluo side, so taking a bit of the wombo combo away from them. And in addition to that, we're seeing Garrosh now. A little bit of a throw into an additional stun as well. The One. What are they going to combo this off with? Ana, obviously. Ana not banned. Nano boost. Woo! Bring it, baby. And the Nuburak as well. Alright, I see a couple of kills coming for sure. It is time for kills at this point. You have the Nano boost, you have the Nuburak set up. And that's... honestly, this feels a little bit like it's Team Russia's wet dream come true. This is a lineup where I feel Russia would kill if they could get that these days. But Ana is traditionally banned out in Europe, and the Nuburak is also taken away. Now you get Jaina on top of that too. It's honestly, I mean, this is a dream draft. From a European perspective, you look at that and it's like, whew, baby, do we even have to play the game? But yeah, let's see what else they're getting. Okay, there's a Valera, so we're having a bit of a burst damage attempt. Might have been willing to play this with an Abatha 2 as we saw in the past, but for now we are actually seeing Li Ming coming in too. Alright, a lot of burst here. But the One. What are the last 2 picks? What are they going to get? What's the offlane? Blaze! More sustain, more survivability on the map in the team fights. And on the other hand, it's Jimmy. Jimmy for the damage. Fantastic setup for the One. Boluo with a bit of Valera curveball, and the last pick from them. We still kind of need a bit of an offlane or another melee, I want to say. You have Valera, granted, but she's going to try and roam the map and get the kills here, I would assume. And it's Vikings time! Full meme here! Boluo against the One on Towers of Doom. Game number 2. It is time to dream a little bit. 3-6-5 on the Vikings. Wooby back in the main tank role, and Shrimpy is playing Valera. It's a bit of a meme draft here, but it's definitely a fun one. Valera and Vikings being set up here. So obviously trying to dominate through the 4-man and the Valera rotations, trying to get those kills against Ana and Jaina in. Let's see if that works out for Boluo as we are heading into game number 2. The lead for the One so far. And let's have a quick look at the second game. I mean, honestly, at this point, even if you meme it a little bit, first of all, it is a comp when you don't have the right answers to those situations. It's easy to lose against such a such a composition that Boluo plays if that composition gets any kind of momentum. So the one is going to be very eager to shut down the momentum early on, to not give them a chance to build up momentum in the game itself. And if they can do that, then it's going to be tough for Boluo to come back in here. But then again, for Boluo to not completely embarrass themselves here, the only thing that they have to do is channel a single altar and make sure that it's not going to be a 40-0. And with Vikings on the map, I would assume that's something you can accomplish, since you definitely have the upper hand when we're talking about grabbing one of the triple altars on the map. So the one, on the other hand, playing this quite slow here. Again, the problem with Vikings on the map is now you have a 4-man that is trying to dominate. And yep, that's pretty much what we're currently seeing here. They go for Nubarak and nearly wreck the poor Beetle. Beetle goes down nearly, but is able to actually escape there. But the setup is still the same. So your 4-man has to be dominant. The Vikings are going to do their thing on the map. And the 4-man just moves and takes fights and tries to take down as much as they can. So vision already granted here by Tyrande. It's the traditional move into the pumpkin camp once that it spawns 1 minute into the map. It's a very similar setup to what we are oftentimes talking about on Volskaya Foundry, where as soon as those mercenaries spawn, you want to take them. There's the wrap around, as they're trying to set up a kill already. Sneaky, sneaky! Admiral Akbar wants his lion back. It's a trap! Well, and they're trying to go for the trap here, but Anubarak is able to stop them for now. Shrimpy, there's a stun, and no Valera value at this point. Alright, so they were trying to set that up, couldn't quite. But here comes the poke again, and ooh! Hugo loses 50% HP as Poik is able to connect everything. We have also an aggressive setup on the side of Anubarak as he goes into Underking. So he's going to try and have the extra range. Subterranean shield should follow. Here comes the setup on the side again. Indomitable already being used. So Whoopi was trying, or was anticipating stuns. Uses the Indomitable early so that he can't be attacked by this. But yeah, top lane, Vikings are still doing their thing in the mid lane as well. Vikings oftentimes gain more momentum on the map as the game continues and as we're hitting the later stages because the map opens up. It's a bit of a different setup when you're playing on Towers of Doom, simply because you don't have that inner and outer line of defense with keeps and forts. It's all about the bell towers. But here come the first altars on the map. So far we don't see a single kill here. And again, this is still a composition for Boluo where if you get momentum, you can oftentimes easily win the game itself. As memey as that draft looks like, and as much as people were thinking, hey, this should be an easy win for the one, if you fall behind as the one, it is hard to get that momentum back because your opponent is playing around map control a lot. So don't underestimate that. But obviously after game number 1, the one is definitely the team that is the favorite here. And they're going for a great fight here. Vikings have shifted momentum a little bit. Gia is trying to rush away, gets another stun through and actually hits Jaina. The problem is that Whoopi is unlikely to get out of this one. The jet propulsion hits him hard, but Gia keeps him alive. There's another move, another stun, but it's just not enough. And right now, we're seeing the one claim the third altar. But still, Boluo without a single death at this point. Not even a Viking has fallen, actually. Not even a Viking has fallen at this point. So now we're having the attempt to go for the kill. And there it is! Anna is dead. They're trying to go for Frankel. Li Ming has already fallen, but Jaina should also die. And that's a kill right there. At this point, Boluo in the lead. Can we just end the game right now and call it a tie? I think it's a tie, right? At this point, you just end the game, it's a tie, and that's done with it. That was awesome by Hehe. Like, seriously. Him dodging, first of all, baiting out the Tyrande stun, then dodging it. Oh, beautiful. Great escape by him. But yeah, well done. Still the lead in kills for Boluo, and a slight advantage also in experience. So as I said, it's all about their 4-man. This is a beauty when you are playing with Vikings, that you are a little bit freer to use that 4-man to roam on the map as 4 and then try to take those fights. It's a little bit of a setup that we oftentimes see there. And currently they're getting the kills. We have also with level 7 talents now the Subterranean Shield for Nubarak, so that's an important one. Sustaining rounds, not an option for Reyna, thankfully. He went into Behemoth armor. Still not fight or flight, but something. On the level 4 talent, obviously. But again, the quick poke happening as we have the double altar on the map. And usually double altar means that you go for a trade, right? Top left, top right are just being exchanged. Now we have the pumpkins taken here at the bottom as well. Vikings should still be able to deal with it. And yeah, towards the top. Vikings are going to make their move in a moment, but the early experience lead might just get Boluo with that early level 10. They can make a play around it. There's a stun into a stun, and Ana is obviously more than willing to heal all of that up again, but at least it's some free damage they can push in. As we expected, the two altars got exchanged at the top side, so now we have 32 against 28 points on those cores. Oh, nice setup against Jimmy, but Reina gets away thanks to his trade. Gia is a bit in trouble, and so is Poik actually. Poik needs to get away from this. The little beetle that could is following him, but unfortunately for Anubarak, wasn't able to make the last connect happen. Again, the setup down here at the bottom as we're seeing Boluo getting pushed in, but the level 10 abilities are there. That's the taunt on Garrosh, and that is going to play a big role. We're also seeing the first measure against the cocoon being utilized by Liming as she heads straight into the disintegrate. Vikings not making a choice yet. Now play again is the traditional choice to go for, unless they really feel that going for the boat would be... Yeah, they go for the boat, alright, they go for the boat here. No play again. No flanks in the back line, so it's boat time later on. But yeah, another altar is going to spawn next time into the middle of the map, right here. Shrimpy is already sitting at the side as the vision will be found out by the Banshee. It's all about the Valera value. Valera is actually insane. I mean, that silence in the entire combo drops so much damage, and if you have already a Hunter's Mark on the opponent, you can do so much there. But they just couldn't do anything here. Can they now? By the time that I say Anubarak's name, he's already dead. I mean, that was just an insta blow up. One flip, one stun, and then just zip, and the beetle is down. Great kill right there. 3 kills against 1 now. And that might actually lead to them grabbing also the altar itself. I mean, yeah, there's still Blaze at the side. He's trying to poke, but they're zoning that out as much as they can. And Anubarak just now respawns, so that is going to be a channel. And there it is. All of a sudden, the points are tied. Boluo is moving in on the side, trying to get a little bit of value on their own pumpkin camp. Vikings still on the map. And 365 hasn't lost a single Viking yet. They honestly haven't found a single Viking at this point yet. The one that is. Couldn't get a single kill here. So 365 is definitely putting in the time. But here comes the engage attempt again by the one. Hey, obviously, on Anubarak now, as I said before, with Underking and Subterranean Shield trying to go for those long distance charges that he attempted to execute here. Again, the poke happening against those pumpkins as they're trying to take that down. But the lead is increasing for Boluo in experience. And especially Blaze is a little bit of trouble to catch up with all of the experience that the Vikings are taking here. It's an interesting game. It's a really interesting game. The one is realizing that this is starting to become a little bit dicey. They would love to get control over the bot lane finally. Here comes Shrimpy from the back. They're trying to make the kill. In comes the taunt. Ana attacked. Ana low. And Ana not dead. Dead finally. They trade the kill. 1 for 1. So they trade kills right now, but the altar is still low. Yeah, Shrimpy had to go in a little bit too deep in order to get that taunt through, but as you can see, with the setup here at the bottom, as we have the 1-5 manning it, they get the bell tower. And again, this has to be highlighted. The one actually 5-manned that. So Blaze joined the fight there, which means that the Vikings actually got a bit more value at the top of the map, and the one has started to lose out on a massive chunk of experience there. Now, obviously, they got something in return. They were able to take the bottom bell tower, which is a huge deal. But there is still an experience advantage for Boluo that might eventually translate into a talent advantage again that they could use to get ahead here. If they can reclaim that. It's all about the fights right now. And there's already the channel. Blaze is zoned out at the top, or is he? Yep, and they're gonna get one. That's 5 shots fired against 3, thanks to that extra bell tower that the one is holding currently. Vikings still with a longboat here. And are they gonna go for the fight? That's the question. 25 against 23. Still the one ahead, and points on the core. Push through the bot lane. Vikings are retreating back onto the lanes right now, up towards the top, trying to do their thing. And already in the back, we're having this little setup from Boluo. They're even thinking about maybe intercepting this. Not so far, though. They're not really making a massive panic play for the bell tower just yet. They're playing this slow for sure, and even pressuring the mid lane right now. There's still one Viking at the bottom of the map, making sure that he can pressure the bell tower slightly if the opponent moves back. But now, obviously, with those pumpkins respawning, that's going to be the next focus. But the mid pressure is there. Boluo is getting something done. Now they have to, of course, face the music as the pumpkins are starting to march in. But Shrimpy is still looking for potential quick snipe, and he doesn't get it just now. But the rest of the team is starting to go for the defense. And Vikings are still pushing out the top lane. Entire level lead. And are they even making the play? Are they going to let that through? It's a little bit late. One down, alright. So they eliminate one. But at least one of the pumpkins made it through. So 25 against 22 points. Triple altar again. Might be able to use the Vikings for this. But you kind of want to reclaim that bell tower by the time those 3 altars arrive on the map. Or you might lose a lot of points there. Shrimpy is on the run here, trying to get away, and yeah, he's not going to make this. No. They sniffed him out early. There's the ult even committed, but I don't think he has a chance of walking out of this alive. He's buying time, though. He's buying some time. The longer they chase him, the better, actually. I mean, at this point, it's just a 1-for-1. Yeah, and at the bot lane, the bell tower, as I said before, is currently getting reclaimed. The Vikings are going for the channel. Valeera is down, and there's the channel at the top left, and nope. Only top right, and that's only 3 shots. 365 channeled it too soon. Should have interrupted the top right and rechannel it a little bit later so that they get the 4 shots. 22 points now against 14. Still level 16. Still level 16 advantage. So with that, kills are now 4 versus 3. I mean, again, it is starting to become a lot more problematic from Boluo's perspective at this point because of the map control that the one is currently starting to establish. And they're trying to do the exact same thing at the bot lane that they did before, reclaim the bell tower. And the pumpkins go through. That's all 3 of them. 2 of them connected. And, well, the third one did make it in. Did I actually get killed before? Not quite certain of that. Either way, bell tower is currently down by roughly 20-30%. 15, 16 nearly there for the one. It's honestly a bit of a weird game here, but Boluo isn't out of it just yet. They are behind, but let's face it, this game is looking a lot closer just by the nature of the 2 drafts than the first map, where Boluo got eliminated within 10 minutes and the one just absolutely murdered it. So yeah, top side we have Good trying to go for a camp now. Rest of the team is still sitting tight, especially at the bot lane. I mean, just look at Magi and He, for example. Everybody is just like sitting there. There's nothing to be gained right now for them to move out. They know that this 4-man is trying to get kills, that we're having Valeera waiting in the shadows somewhere, attempting to take down an unsuspecting target. And right now, that isn't really happening, but yeah, it's a tough one. The attempt to take down the Banshee for now. Altars are spawning again. Single altar on the bot lane. I'm still waiting for the Vikings to actually join the battle and drop the longbow. So far we haven't seen that yet. And normally that happens for the first time when you have 16 for your team, because then you have Olaf with Large and in charge, and once that's the case, you have an actual impact into the team fight, and then you can drop the longbow too. And yeah, well, as I said, we're actually seeing Olaf starting to make his way down to the bottom, so they're starting to get the Vikings together here. Shrimpy hasn't really engaged into this yet either. They still need to interrupt the channel though, and they're able to do that. And in come the Vikings. Whereas Shrimpy, he's still sitting with Valeera on the side. Vikings are moving in. Shrimpy still hasn't moved yet. Gets reported for AFK in a second, but there we have it. Just before it gets dropped, goes for a Nubarak, tries to make the play there. Longboat is in as well. Shrimpy didn't get quite as much as he was hoping for. The bunker, on the other hand, was baited out now to the one again with the push. Li Ming with the teleport away. Longboat is about to drop. The water elemental alone takes it down. And here comes the taunt and the kill against Jimmy. Jimmy is dead, but the counter kill against Garrosh and against Valeera. Jaina a bit too powerful here. The Cocoon on the ground against Gia, so Toronto couldn't help out with that problem either. Vikings are still ready, but Gia is about to fall as well, as the stun is hitting him hard. And that is going to be a bottom bell tower eliminated. The mid bell tower is also losing hit points on Boluo's side as the minion wave crashed into it, but they at least get some value up at the top left as the bell tower of Boluo is already suffering there. But that's another 5 shots now taken off the core, and that puts Boluo into the single digits at this point. Yeah, fight right here. There's the taunt, there's the kill, but it's just Jaina once again murdering them. Frankel mercilessly, the nano boost hitting Jaina, and then she just goes for the kills. Easy peasy. Poig is able to survive. Gia isn't, and that might just be the beginning of the end here for them. at the top left. The bell tower hasn't been claimed either, and we are seeing the one go straight for the boss. They got the map control, they got everything. They even take the pumpkins at the bot lane to create another pressure point. And that's 4 more shots fired. Down to 5 points. 5 against 22. Still a leading experience, but is that really going to be enough? Moby, they're trying to take this one down. Shrimpy sitting at the side here, observing everything. Trying to see if he can maybe get an easy snipe against someone with the help of the rotation. Nope, it's continuous 4-man the entire time. Always protecting, always ready. They look for 20. They want to have the Storm Talent advantage. Maybe they can force a fight around that advantage and try and get a kill there. They need to. The next objective is going to be rough. If you get the 20 quickly, that might be the one fight where you can start to turn this around and gain momentum for yourself. But outside of that battle, I just don't see them having an impact there. 28 seconds until we have the next objective there. In comes the Cocoon, and the Pumpkins make it through. 2 of them go in, and that's 3 points on the core. Not that it really matters at this point. They need the 20 and they need to fight it. They know it. They know it as well. They need the Storm Talents right now. They need the Vikings to move in. Already the kill attempt here against Magi, but Shrimpy has to retreat. Whoopi comes in from the side. They don't have 20 yet. They don't have their Storm Talents. The Beetle nearly down. 20 still not ready. And there's the death of Garrosh. He falls. And we have Eric fall as well. Gia is isolated, completely driving a wedge between the parts of the team. At least Anna is dying, but that is not going to be enough in the long run. Another attempt by Valera to maybe turn this around, but it's looking grim at this point. 20 on both sides right now, and we're having Shrimpy on the run, and there's the channel, there's the kill, and that is game, ladies and gentlemen, as the one takes the 2-0 victory against Boluo.